It's been a long time. I think our last one that Bruce told me was in November. So let's see, it's been over 6 months since we came together. And it's really, really wonderful to see everyone. It feels like every time we see each other, it's a little different. Okay, we have also Allison over here. If you want to wave to her, Allison is new to our synagogue team. She's here to help out in all the outdoor events. She's an expert technician, and we're grateful to have her. She's really helping Cantor in particular manage all the various complicated networks here, and it's really great to have you, so welcome. Okay, so Cantor will tell me when we're set. Is it going? What
It's live.
Oh, okay, welcome. Let's say hello to the people out there in cyberspace. They can't see you, but welcome. So good to see you. Shabbat Shalom. It's great to be out here, and if you haven't had a chance, if you do live in Western New York, I hope that you will join us for a Park and Pray service. It's something very unique that we started, and it was named over here by Sheila Bernard Tucker. So thankfully, we have this option. You never knew how important our parking lot would be. So I'd like to invite up Bruce Korus, our synagogue president, to offer the announcements.
The welcome.
The welcome. Oh gosh, sorry, the welcome.
Man,
sorry.
He really looks forward to the announcements every week. Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and welcome. It is so nice to see so many of you in person. It is so nice to be out here. Our parking lot is holy ground, not potholy ground because we had it paved. It is holy ground, and we are enjoying being together. The Cantor all winter long, she kept saying to me, hey, let's go out into the parking lot. Let's go out. It's not that cold. She kept telling me. I said, no, Cantor, we can't do that to our congregants. We're going to stay inside. We're going to do Zoom. But now that the weather is nice again, and what a perfect night. Could we ask for a better night for our first Park and Pray of the year? We will, as the rabbi mentioned earlier, for those of you who didn't hear it on the stream, you saw the CDC changing its requirements, its recommendations, I should say. Governor Cuomo is considering what to do in New York State. We've been in contact with the health commissioner, Dr. Burstein, and we will continue to do what's right for you guys, mitigating your risk, and make sure that people feel comfortable, because we want everyone here to feel comfortable and safe, and we want everyone to be safe. So in the meantime, enjoy tonight. Oh man, could this be any better? And I will be back a little bit later with the announcements that the rabbi looks forward to so much. Whoa, hello.
Sorry, that's me.
That was you. Okay. And enjoy the service, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. It is so good to see so many faces, even if half of them are covered up with a mask.
Thank you, Bruce. So we also have Paul Staley here, who's now gotten used to being our coming outdoors. Who knew? So we are going to begin on page 142. If you have a prayer book, it is Shalom Aleichem. Let's welcome each other and welcome the angels of Shabbat.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Shalom
ministering angels, messengers of the Most High, Majesty of Majesties, Holy One of blessing. We're going to turn to our candles, and since we are outside, we have our electric candles. It's on page 120, the blessing, and I will flip the switch as Cantor will recite the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadikner shel Shabbat.
Blessed are you, God, who provides the light we need to move through times of darkness and allows us to enjoy the Sabbath. The Kiddush we sanctify the day of Shabbat on 123.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei b'riat gafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava u'ratzon, Inhilanu, Zikaron lemaseh, Bereshit, Ki hu yom tehillah, Lemikra kodesh, Zecher Yetziat Mitzrayim, Kivanu v'charta, Viltanu Kidashta Mikovim V'Shabbat Kodecha Ve'ahava U'V'Ratzon Inhaltanu Baruch atah Adonai V'Kadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. L'chaim, to life. Let's take a nice deep breath of Shabbat air. We'll breathe in all the things we want to hold on to this week, and we'll breathe out everything we want to get rid of. Let's think back to this past week. Think back of one thing you want to hold on to and one thing you want to get rid of. We're now ready to welcome in Shabbat on page 138 with L'cha Dodi as we welcome the Shabbat bride who would be entering through Sheridan Drive. And we'll sing the first and the last verse. On the last verse we rise and we will face our entrance and we'll bow to the Shabbat bride and then we'll wave to one another.
Shavu v'zachor v'tivoretem in
So wonderful to see everyone. Let's do a nice big wave around. If you're joining us from cyberspace, just write in Shabbat Shalom. It's so good to see everyone. We even have people spread out on our lawn today. And what a gorgeous day it is. Please, we remain standing if you're able for our call to prayer, page 146. Remain standing for Ahavat Olam, page 150. Bottom of page 151 in honor of the upcoming holiday of Shavuot, where we celebrate the receiving of the Torah. Please join with me. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works, and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, blessed are you, God, who loves Israel by giving us the Torah. Page 152 and 3, the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai
continue with the V'ahavta on page 154.
בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל חיותיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אלוקים בצלחך היום על לבבך ישיננת לבניך ודיברת גם בשבתך ובביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרת מאוד חייתך והיו לטוטפות עיניך וחשבת על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו עשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים אלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Page 161. We read this last week, and I'd like to read it again at the top of the page. I think we really need this sentiment this week. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts, and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. May God bring peace to us in our hearts and in Israel and in the world. And we say, Amen.
Amen.
I invite you at this point to rise on page 164. We are going to do the standing prayer, the tefillah or amidah, the beginning of it out loud, through page 170, and then we'll continue quietly.
Adonai sifratay tiftach u'fi'achit tehillatcha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבוי והנורא, הנה יום, גומר חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לפני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע מגן. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham, Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol, Atah Rav Yehoshia, Morid Hatov, Mechalkel Chayim B'chesed, Mechayeh Hakol, Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'rofei Chodim, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני אחר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומדבר לך, אלף אימית ומקיים, ומצליח ישועה, ונאמן אחר חיות הכל. Baruch atah הקדוש ושמך הקדוש וקדושים בכל יום יעלנו חסדה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We take a few minutes now for your own private prayers. We'll continue in the Hebrew English through page 180, but also just feel free to use this time to say the prayers of your heart, and whenever you're ready, you may be seated. Cantor, I have a question for you that's confusing to me about clapping. I get very confused about clapping. So when you're clapping, when the song goes high, like, yeah, when it goes higher, I'm not going to try to say, do you still clap at that point?
Everything okay? Oh, okay, good.
Do you still clap? Do you
yeah,
still do the double
you know,
clap?
I was feeling very legit tonight, so I was extending those notes. So I was like, woo, so I kind of like deleted the claps, but normally you would clap.
Oh,
So you clap anyway, even if I extend some notes.
Okay, yeah, because I was confused last week. I was thinking, do we clap during that time or not? Anyway, so thank you for clarifying. I'm sure everyone else was equally as confused as me, right?
I'll have to listen more closely.
No. I was just being facetious. I think I'm probably the only one who thinks about such matters. But I just figured I'd ask the question for the one person here that was equally as confused. We are going to be turning to our healing prayers. And we have a number of people in our community that we're thinking about. The Misha Barak, by the way, is on page 371, so feel free to turn to that. We are thinking about Michael Berwick, Karen Cooper, Arthur Dezelke, Fakey Fox, Irene Green, Jeff Hamilton, Nancy Hersbrun, Sue Hill, Howard Hilfstein, Ruth Lansing, Diane Lynch, Karen Place, Mary Rumiz, Jason Shaw, Michael Citron, Meg Wagner, Carol Wilson, Fred Weiner, Elizabeth Gizi Yager, and Hannah Ezra Ben Shul. If you have other names, just raise your hand.
Roberta Friedman.
And anyone in cyberspace, you could write it in. Yeah, at the back, sure. Okay, I can't hear you exactly. I just heard if you didn't know the name, but you can always throw out the prayers because you know the person. So that's good, good. I think there were some more, yeah. Even if we can't all hear each other, sometimes just putting the names out there is really helpful. So we hold all those names in our heart. And again, we're on page 371. Complete healing of body and soul. We send all of our prayers out to those here and those that we love or that we know about in need of prayer. Certainly we can send them even across the ocean to the many people, friends, and family that we have in Israel as well. So today in the Torah, we begin our journey through the wilderness. We have begun a new book, Bamidbar. And believe it or not, I'm just trying to count in my head. I think this is the 8th book of the pandemic. You know, there's 5 books in the year, and roughly we started at the very end of Exodus last February, and now we're starting the book of Numbers. So we've made it quite a long journey in the pandemic. The book of Numbers, Bamidbar, this first portion, is not the most interesting in the world unless you love demographics. This is the portion of the census. It actually even goes all the way into next week's portion. And there's a couple things I can tell you about the demographics of the ancient Israelite world. First of all, there were 12 tribes. They counted only those that were 20 and above, military age, and only males. And they say there was over 600,000 individuals at that time, males over 20. Although this word elif, that's the word for thousands in Hebrew, probably didn't mean 1,000. So there was probably much less population. One thing that they did not have back then, they did not have Jewish denominations. Reform and Reconstructionists did not exist 3,000 years ago. And they also didn't have this weird thing that comes up in our demographics today, which is Jews with no religion. Have you heard of this? Jews with no religion? Jews with no religion, it came out in the 2013 Pew study. These are people that are Jewish, but they would never come to a park and pray. Jews that feel kind of Jewish in their kishkis. Maybe they cook some Jewish food, but they don't feel like they're Jewish religiously in any way. And we call them, actually, a very strange thing. They call them the nuns. This is not it's so weird, right? I heard some laughter there because you think of nuns as very religious, but this is nuns, N-O-N-E-S. So we had a new demographics, Jewish demographics that came out just this past week, right in time for the book of Numbers. I'm sure all the rabbis in all of the United States were thinking, it couldn't be more perfect. It's basically the census data from 2020, and this is again by the Pew Research Center. And it was very interesting. I have the top 10 list for all you David Letterman fans of the most important key factors that came out of this, and so you'll be knowledgeable. Actually, this summer they're going to have a fuller report, I understand, but we kind of got a little glimpse into what the numbers look like. So number one, and this is actually shocking to people in Buffalo, but certainly to the entire Jewish community, this was one of the most important findings that we found out in 2013 that went against everything that we thought before, which is unbelievably, Jews are actually having babies. It is surprising here in Buffalo, but the Jews are actually growing. And back in the 90s, we were at about 5.5 million Jews, and they said the Jewish community will flatten out. It will never grow after this. That's kind of be the numbers. And we were very surprised and pleasantly surprised to see in 2013 that we had about 6.5 million Jews, people in the surveys that list themselves as Jews. And what's very surprising, how many would you think we have now? We actually have 7.5 million Jews in America. We've kept up with the national trends. We're still 2.4% of the American population. Still small, but mighty. And there are 5.8 million Jewish adults and 1.7 million children. So that was really exciting. Another thing that actually I was kind of surprised in seeing the survey results, Jewish denominations are still alive. I kind of was looking at the numbers in 2013, and I thought, Reform, Reconstructionism, conservative, we're kind of shifting away, and that actually is not. They're very stable. About 40% or 4 out of 10 Jewish Americans are connected to a liberal Jewish denomination. This is not Orthodox. Because the next thing I'm going to say is that the Orthodox are the new Reform. You say, Rabbi, what do you mean the Orthodox are the new Reform? Reform were the largest denomination, and they had the sharpest rise in the 20th century, and now in the 21st century, and now the Orthodox certainly are. Among the age group 18 to 29, and I think it would even be larger if you went from 0 to 29, the Orthodox make up 17%. And that might not seem a lot, but if you remember, the age group 65 and older, it is 3%. 65 and older, there are 3% Orthodox. So 17% and probably larger when you take that whole early demographic, and that's what the future really looks like, a much higher percentage of Orthodox. Number 4, I already mentioned, the nuns, these Jews of no religion are certainly here to stay. They did not leave the report from 2013 to 2020. They are still at about 41%, or roughly equal to the number of liberal Jews in this country. You're not going to be surprised at all by number 5, anti-Semitism, the feeling, this understanding that there is anti-Semitism in America is way up. If you look at the survey, and we know the world from 2013 to 2021 now, we did not have security guards, and we did not have a lot of our security measures back in 2013, so it's no surprise that the feeling that anti-Semitism is back. intermarriages in. Surprise, surprise for those of you here in the Shir Shalom community. We have about 61% of the marriages from 2010 to 2020, 6 and 10, were interfaith. And Israel is still important. 82% of the American Jewish population said Israel is of great importance. That was kind of cool. I thought those numbers would be much lower than that. Number 9, the Jews of color are, sorry, this is number 8. Jews of color are growing. We've heard that our what the Jewish community looks like is changing before our eyes. And actually, when you look at the overall Jewish households, 17% of Jewish households have a person of color in it. So it is really growing quite quickly. And the way that we see Jews in America, we typically saw them as white Ashkenazi, and that is changing very, very quickly. Number 9, we don't get along with each other. It was actually interesting to see in the statistics that Jews don't think that they have anything in common with, if you're in one denomination, with a different denomination. This is particular when it comes to liberal and Orthodox, and you have to look no further than the way the voting trends, right? We know that among the liberal or nuns, there's a very high Democratic population, but among the Orthodox, it's very high Republican, and there is a huge. That's only one of the ways that there's a division, and it's kind of sad and also not surprising. And number 10, this was a funny thing that came out of the statistic. Jews like to cook Jewish foods. I guess this is kind of funny because challah baking is especially during the pandemic, is at an all-time high. I've never seen more people. Raise your hand if you made challah during the pandemic. It is quite popular and growing, and so there is a sense of that. So that's kind of an incomplete picture, but it's a little bit. It's only been 7 years since the last one. We get a little snapshot of where we are and maybe where we're going in the future. It'll be interesting to see. In 2030, I would be really interested to see what the statistics were like then. Okay, so we're going to turn our attention now to what's happening in Israel. We had a gathering. I don't know what to call it, actually. I've been kind of confusing it. It's kind of a solidarity gathering over at the Jewish Community Center by the flagpole. It was beautiful. We had about 40 people there at 3 o'clock, and we are really heartbroken. It's just a terrible time. We talked to Cantor before the service, and we thought maybe we'd have some music, and she suggested Lu Yehi by Naomi Shemer. So we're going to sing this, and we're going to send our prayers out across the ocean to Jerusalem and to our friends and family over there in Israel. We do hope that peace will come soon.
There's a still white sail on the horizon, opposite a heavy black cloud. May all that we ask for come to pass. And if in the evening windows the light of holiday candles flicker, may all that we ask come to pass. Lu Yehi. May all that we ask for come to pass. What are these sounds I hear? The sound of the shofar, the sound of the drums. May all that we ask for come to pass. Let one prayer from my lips be heard from among all these. May all that we ask for come to pass. Lu Yehi, Lu Yehi.
And that's on page 656 in your prayer books.
Nirvana
we rise for Aleinu, page 586.
Aleinu לשפר לדורות, לתת גדולה מיוצר בראשית, שלא עשה לפגועי הרצון, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם על כתפיהם וגורלנו ככל עבודם. אנחנו קוראים ונשחרים ומודים לפני מלך מלכים ומלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 591.
And never ahayam Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz. Hayom hahu yeh Adonai echad. U'shemo
You may be seated. We turn to the Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. For those of you here today observing a yard site or in mourning, we hope this service is of comfort. If for some reason you need a name listed here or you're going to be here and you want name read, just call Nancy Nagori in our office. We are remembering this week Dr. Sidney Anthem, Richard M. Brummer, Minette Mickey Apter, Sandra Friedferdig, Marvin Garelick, Charles Lefcourt, and Vladimir Nadine, all whose families are observing Shloshim, the 30 days after mourning. And our yard site list from years past, we remember Norma Altman, Peggy Altman, Sam Axelrod, Bernice Baker, Edith Balin, Edwin Brockman, Sidney Cohen, Peter Covey, Patricia Gilbert Cole, Robert Eisner, Larry A. Glasser, Gertrude Goldberg, Frank E. Gordon, Louis Jacob Hass, Carl D. Haber, Blanche Hirsch, Milton Herzog, Randy Hill, Sidney Joseph, Marianne Kaplan, Diane H. Kowalski, Abraham Kranitz, Frank Liederman, Molly Letman, Ruth Levinson, Isaac Levy, Matthew Liebengards, Marshall Linder, Bessie Michaels, Bernice Organic, Ruth E. Pugash, Seymour Schoenfeld, Miriam Schulman, Helene Shapiro, William Shapiro, Helen Suffren, Abraham Sugar, Anna Tatuski, Saul Wapnick, and Thomas Wisniewski. If you have other names you'd like to say, just raise your hand here. All those whose custom it is to rise, please rise and we'll recite together. Yidkadal, v'yidkadash, Shemei Rabbah, v'alma, v'yivra, v'yirtei, v'yamlik malkutei, v'chayachon, v'yomachon, v'chayei l'kol Beit Yisrael, v'agalah, v'zman, kariv, v'yimaru, amen. Yehesh, Shemei Rabbah, v'varach, Olam, Omei, Omeyam. Yitbarach, Yishtabach, Yitpahar, Yitramam, Yitnaseh. Yitadar, Yitaleh, Yitalal, Shemeda Kudashah, Rihu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran v'alma, yimaru, amen. Yehi shlam rabba min shemaya, Chaim Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael Yimaru. Amen. Oseh Shalom b'mromav. Hu Yaseh Shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol Yoshvei Tevel v'Yimaru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony and high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to all the world, and we say, Amen. Zikranam Livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. May be seated. I'd like to invite Bruce Corris, our synagogue president, for announcements.
Shabbat Shalom again, everyone. Interesting numbers. You missed one.
What's that?
4 out of 10 liberal Jews have been to a Shabbat. That is up from 7 years ago, and we are the reason. Because of all the numbers, see? All sorts of numbers in there. Anyway, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome back. It is so good to see so many faces, even the ones that are covered with a mask on the bottom half. It's just so great to see you guys. Our first of many, many, many Park and Praise that we will be doing this summer. Thank you.
You just looked at me.
I did, yes. Thank you, Rabbi Alex Cantor-Frank.
And Allison.
Well, I was going to get to Allison
Oh,
in a minute.
okay.
Paul
Oh.
Staley, and the newest member of our team, Allison, who is making sure that everything is technically perfect, frees up the cantor so that she can sing her heart out.
Thank you. We had an anonymous donor, and thank you very much. You know who you are, who helped with Allison, and then the sisterhood is also helping out with Allison's the expenses to have Allison here. And here we are, just enjoying Shabbat together, and someone's taking care of all this. So just let me know if there's ever any issues, and I'll talk to Allison.
There you go. Speaking of bringing people back, where are Steve and Hillary Hurwitz? There they are. Our greeters, our farewell greeters tonight. Thank you for doing that, bringing back all of our wonderful traditions. So I mentioned earlier, and the rabbi mentioned, we are aware of the CDC changing recommendations, I should say. Waiting to see what the governor is going to do. We will keep you posted on that. Again, we want you guys to be safe, and we want you guys to be comfortable, and we will always act with that in mind. Tomorrow morning, we have Torah study at 9 a.m., the Shabbat morning service at 11. Both that will be followed by the virtual Kiddush luncheon. Both of them are via Zoom. Sunday, hard to believe, it's the last day of religious school. Wow. If any parents are here or are watching, if you have any questions about that, please contact Enab Simons, our religious school director, and have a great summer, all you kids. Monday night, or Monday during the day, I should say, if you'd like to join us either in person or via the stream, we will be doing the Shavuot Yitzchak service. That's at 10:30 in the morning. If you want to come and be here in person, make sure you give Joanne an RSVP. By the way, if you're planning to come to a Park and Pray, please also make sure that you RSVP to Joanne. We want to make sure we have enough chairs out, we have enough spots, and bear in mind that in coming services, we're going to be adjusting how we do it to enhance your experience. The Buffalo Corner reading series will return Thursday at 7 o'clock p.m. via Zoom. That'll be fun. It's a very creative evening. Are you reading this week?
I always read a poem.
Okay, so it's always a nice evening, so that's Thursday night. Next Friday night, one of our very special services of the year, that is our Women of Shir Shalom service. That will be on Zoom. We've got a lot of people taking part, obviously. That'll be 7 o'clock next Friday night on Zoom. Please remember to register by visiting our website. The Women of Shir Shalom are also providing a complimentary Onig to-go box to the first 50 people. You need to respond to Sheila for that. It'll be a very lovely evening. It's, like I said, it's one of our very special services of the year. There is, and I know a number of the people here have already signed up for it, a very exciting synagogue Jewish heritage cruise in Europe. It's being planned for the summer of 2022 through AAA. If you're interested in information, contact the Temple office, or Robin Rayfield or Alan Gellin can give you more information. And there is a discount if you book it by May 31st. Shabbatas, I mentioned it earlier. Shabbatas is coming back. Our next one is Tuesday, May 25th. That will be a week from this Tuesday, from 4 to 7 or until sold out. Gordon, Paul, last time you were perfect. You showed up right on time. Excellent. That is on Tuesday, May 25th. The next night Wednesday, May 26th, is our annual congregational meeting. Wow, coming up. That will be done via Zoom. Make sure you register for it. You will be getting all sorts of updates, and of course, the President's Award being handed out. This year, spoiler alert, there are 2 President's Awards being given out. So, you'll want to be here for that. If you need anything at all, please feel free to reach out to the cantor, the rabbi, Joanne, or myself. If it's late at night or early in the morning, Joanne. Other than that, by the way, the CDC changed its recommendations this morning, 8:30 this morning. What happens? My cell phone rings. It's the rabbi calling. It's like just like the early days of the pandemic. Hey, Bruce, we need to talk. So, we always talk. Anyway, Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and again, welcome to the first Park and Pray of the year.
And I just gave away not only my age, but my years of service to the Jewish
One more
community by calling the women of Shir Shalom the sisterhood.
Oh, man.
So my apologies.
Joanne
for
just
showing my age.
Joanne
and my
just
vintage.
Yes, well, I call them that all the time. It's
Oh,
what you're used to. Joanne reminded me of something that she forgot. She's going to atone for this one. She forgot to put it in the announcements. Dr. Yanina Foster is here. We do have. It's our last of the year. Shalom Ruach Sunday night at 7, correct? So Dr. Foster leads us in that. It is song, it's prayer, it's silence, it's very moving, and that is Sunday night at 7, and that is via Zoom as well. Sorry about that. Blame her. She forgot to put it on the list. I can throw Joanne under the bus. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Wow, I'm gonna have to see about calling you now at 8:30. That's when I walk my dog.
Bringing back the tradition.
Rabbi, can I mention one more thing?
Sure.
We've been toying around with the idea of parking the cars over there and us using this space in here for just our chairs so that we're not looking past cars and everyone can get closer, but yet be divided into squares, you know, we're not. So if you want to talk to us about it, whatever, we almost did it today, but we wanted to give you a heads up. We've been planning this for a few months, freeing up the space and not being, you know, so close to your car. So Bruce, did you want to talk about this?
I want to talk about something far more important. Food. I forgot to mention. We have ice cream treats. What a perfect night for ice cream. Joanne and Sherry Joe and the girls are going around. So those of you that see, if you're watching via the stream, you're missing out on not only a great experience, ice cream too.
We should say that the ice cream is in honor of Shavuot. Shavuot's our dairy holiday. That is Sunday night. I guess Bruce must have said it. We have Shavuot services. We do have a Yisker service, and you can RSVP. It's at 10:30. It is just Yisker, so it will be from 10:30 to about 11. But just let Joanne know if you'd like to come to those service. Temple Vasetic is continuing their Tikkun Leil Shavuot on Sunday as well. There's a couple of more sessions left. It's been really fun. I got to teach yesterday. I think that we are good. So we are ready for our final hymn, which is Hatikva. We did this over at the flagpole. It's going to be emotional. Let's if you're able to rise, I encourage you to rise. It's on page 678. And we don't have an Israeli flag. with hamotzi, which I guess is over the ice cream now. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz v'te'avon. As you came in peace, please leave in peace. Be very careful on the way out. Make sure you follow the instructions. It's so good to see you, and welcome. Goodbye to everyone also on joining us from virtual space. Shabbat shalom, and really, really good to see you.